Train the muscles, not the joints. I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about why do bodybuilders bulk up. I'm not a fan of bulking. I don't bulk. I may let my body fat level get a little bit higher, like 10% or something like that, or maybe 11 or 12, whatever, but I don't let it go into 20, 30% fat range, right? The thing is, a lot of people out there think that you have to bulk massively in order to gain muscle, and I disagree with that. I don't think you need to do that. But one thing you do need to do, though, is that you need to make sure that the body understands that it has enough food at any one given moment to make sure that it's okay for it to put on muscle. It's just that simple. Since the dawn of time, every bodybuilder that's ever gained mass will tell you they needed to eat. You need to eat to gain weight. You cannot just think that air or water is going to make you build muscle. You have to actually put in the food. Now, I think in the social media age that it's pretty normal for people to get obsessed with being the epitome of everything all at the same time. Like they want to be Superman and Wonder Woman at the same time, or they want to be super lean and then super bulked up like the Mountain in Game of Thrones at the same time. They want everything, right? But there are natural processes in the body that you have to be accountable to. And if you don't understand how they work, and you're just randomly just trying to follow your thoughts like a bird in every single direction, you won't accomplish anything. You'll just be at a standstill. So one thing you have to understand is that putting on muscle is not that complicated. It's not as complicated as everybody makes it out to be. All it is just a matter of making sure that your body has enough food and that you remind the body that it needs to adapt and get stronger. That's simple. And there's different techniques to do this, and not every technique is appropriate for everyone, but the bottom line is that stimulate the body and then feed it. That's how you grow. Some guys are like, hey, well, why can't you just perpetually cut and just be totally shredded all the time and put on muscle mass? Well, the reason why you can't do this is because you are at a deficit of energy calories when you are cutting. And when you're super lean, even if you're at a maintenance weight, you're by no means telling the body that it has enough calories or extra calories in order to upgrade the metabolism to the next level, which means muscle mass burns calories. It burns energy. It burns energy, okay? So if you have more muscle mass, that means your body needs more energy. Otherwise, it will die because it has a lack of energy, which means starvation. So you have to understand that in order to put on muscle, you cannot be concentrating on being ultimately shredded at all times. This will kill your gains. I made a video about this a long time ago about don't kill your gains by trying to be super shredded all the time, because you need to basically have this extra amount of calories, and sometimes it's stored calories through a little bit of body fat, to convince the body that, hey, it has more than enough for the survival mechanism to take place, which means it's safe to put on muscle, which takes more food in order to feed. If you're trying to cut at all times and trying to be working at a deficit, you'll be working against putting on the muscle mass side of things. You won't be able to put on muscle mass because your body's going to be thinking, hey, I'm in starvation mode. There's no way I'm putting on muscle. You're not going to have 20 kids if you only have enough food to feed 3 kids. Okay, it's the same sort of premise. Your body will not put on muscle mass unless it knows, because muscle is a luxury. Muscle mass is a luxury, and it will only put on that muscle mass if it knows for a fact that it can support it. Otherwise, you know, in normal survival circumstances, the body would just die, right? Because there's just a lack of food. So why is it going to feed this massive V8 engine called your muscle mass if it can downgrade to a 3-cylinder and still survive and still get things done, right? So there's always this war of survival versus practicality, or survival versus performance that's going on. So when you convince the body that there's more than enough resources to afford to upgrade the system to become better at performance, then these two things collide, then you will put on muscle mass. So you need to make sure there's enough food. Starts with a gram per pound of body weight of protein, or around there. Maybe it's a little bit less, maybe it's a little bit more, depending on the person. And then you have to have enough carbohydrates. You cannot be on a low carb, low fat diet all the time, because you will kill your gains doing this. So Somebody asked me, why do bodybuilders bulk up? Well, this is why, because they know this psychology that's going on in the body. They know that if they don't have a surplus of calories, then the body will not put on that extra muscle because it's saying, hey, I'm in starvation mode right now, and muscle is a luxury, so I'm not going to do it. I hope this helps you understand why you need to not concentrate on cutting all the time if you want to put on muscle mass. Because in the end, when you put on more muscle, it will be easier for you to get cut because now you have a faster metabolism. So then when you start to actually lower the energy calories or lower the energy macros, you'll have an easier time getting lean. So I hope this helps you out. Make sure you subscribe. And if you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturallandbodybuilding.com and take care for now.